didn't run away. I did whatever he asked me to do, but now it's time for me to hand off. So I can say to myself, look, I was wrong, I was screwed like everybody else, I stuck around, I carried the torch. When it got too hot, I named people, but they were people who I think are the right people.
Take care, man.
Well, it feels all right. You know, we've all been through a hell of a lot. But those guys will do a good job. Those guys will do all right. You know? Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk. Can I call you in a little while? It's like starting a new company from scratch, literally.
We need for you to sign the book today, so, okay, so you'll be, fax it to you?
Let me just... Finding the group of people that literally have to put the money into a new venture that's already started and is in somewhat of a hole.
Yes, yeah, and you know, we'll arrange a meeting in New York City. Okay, I promise you a meeting. Good, thanks. What's up? Hi.
Listen, health insurance has been taken care of, step one. Next week, this place, everybody's coming to work. I have no idea beyond that, other than I know the people that are going to make it happen. That's where I am. It's insane. It is insane.
You know, we got the product together. We just need a few bucks. What we have on the air is going to stay on the air. Right now, that's the one thing here that's working, you know. We're in great shape, except for we're about to go out of business.
Oh, man, I tell you, this is so bad. Whatever Bush says from now on, just presume the opposite is true, and you'll be okay. If he says, my fellow Americans, assume he is from Saudi Arabia. Assume he's from another country. Pick one. I don't really care. Saudi Arabia comes to mind when you say Bush, to me, only because I read books.
This president doesn't like you, does he?
No.
And why would that be, Helen?
No president ever liked me. Why should they like me? I don't care.
What would you have asked at the press conference?
Well, I would ask him because we knew the Sharon plan was coming. How can you give what doesn't belong to you? And I would ask Sharon, how can you take what doesn't belong to you?
You're talking about...
I'm talking about Palestinian land. You really cannot negotiate your home.
I kind of feel like a little bit I'm just taking these couple of weeks because I just need to vent. But you've made the larger point, which, what's the solution? What do we do? What do we do next?
I'm all for reforming the system. The system has to be reformed. It doesn't really work. But right now, when your house is on fire, it's not the time to talk about remodeling.
Exactly.
We are back on the Majority Report. I'm Janine Garofalo here with Sam Cedar, and we're talking to Sergeant Kelly Doherty and Sergeant Elizabeth Wisdorf, who have just returned from Iraq.
Tell me, what is it that you thought that you were getting into when you signed up for the National Guard?
I just wanted to pay for my school and maybe a little medical knowledge because I'm in the medical field and this was a great opportunity for me.
Just the longer it dragged on, the morale would go up and down because we didn't necessarily have a strict mission.
We spent a lot of time with the people. In the beginning, they were just really curious, and then I think they got kind of tired of us being there. We were kind of house guests that I think had stayed way too long.
But Scott McClellan today, who replaced Ari Fleischer, who replaced Karen Hughes, because how many days can you go to work and lie your ass off for a living? He said, quote, you know, every step of the way in Iraq, there have been pessimists and hand-wringers who say it can't be done. It turns out that there is a reason for that, Scott. It can't be done! That's the reason!
The new liberal network is not going to win Business Plan of the Year honors, but the first radio ratings are in. Al Franken has clocked Rush Limbaugh, and his program may turn out to be the most successful launch in radio history. Most radio startups get microscopic ratings well into their second year.
He's out, Governor D. I don't have to tell anybody in this room how hard it's been for all of us the last, I don't even know how many weeks, days, or months it feels. But for everybody that's here today, I really thank you.
This radio station went from about 120,000 listeners a week to almost 400,000 listeners a week in 1 month. That doesn't happen in radio, by the way.
Thank you.
What I heard going into this was they'll never get an audience. There's no audience for liberal talk radio. Well, we proved there is. It's all we needed to do.
We're in a position to really attract the kind of interest in real capital to make this thing expand the way all of us who came into this on lots of different levels make this a long-term deal for all of us.
Okay, everybody who's excited about working here, raise your hand. Okay, not so fast, Carmen.
Okay, well, let's keep going and see what happens.
In the final month, Randy actually beats WABC. Yeah, she actually beats Sean Hannity.
The people that we wind up beating on WOR include Bill O'Reilly, which you guys have to like.
It's really remarkable when you see the results, and this is from listeners, this is word of mouth, this is basically from bad publicity since the first stuff came out. So it's really a remarkable accomplishment.
Yeah, Janine and Sam are just pummeling Michael Savage, and that's just terrific.
A Majority Report with Sam Cedar and Janine Garofalo is next. I'm Marty Kaplan.
Well, Janine has always been socially liberal, our whole life. I'm not quite sure when she got actually politically this liberal, but...
That was around college age, but actually after, because I just would listen to what he said. Some of the rhetoric I would just regurgitate when I got into college, and then when I moved to Boston afterwards, until people in my peer group started telling me that I was an asshole.
A little peer pressure.
A little peer pressure.
You couldn't handle it.
You refused to get upset about Abu Ghraib and the prison torture scandal.
I didn't refuse to get upset about it. I think that was a terrible thing.
Right, and the chain of command and the memos that have been leaked tells you that it goes straight up to the Bush administration.
And the fact that a memo was written that says, here are some things you could do
to get around torture.
That doesn't mean...
To get around the Geneva Conventions that we signed in 1949.
That doesn't mean that actually is what happened. It's just one of the false admits that get examined. And besides, we haven't gotten around the Geneva.
Yeah, we did.
No, we did.
They're violated. It was a violation of the Geneva Conventions, and right now, Titan and CACI are being sued.
Two guys, and they're being sued by lawyers who represent...
People that were...
Maybe.
Tortured.
Perhaps.
Loving is hard.
Air America Radio. Radio Rush Limbaugh would listen to, if he hadn't lost most of his hearing to drug abuse.
Yeah, we are still surviving. In fact, today is yet another payday, and we've made it. Our investors have gotten behind us yet again. I have to admit that we are sort of living pay cycle to pay cycle, but
I think that every time these guys just manage to find a way to make sure that we keep it going, and they realize the importance that our voice, right, particularly now, has. So until the real money comes in, the numbers in August look good, and we're moving right along.
Yeah, Randy. How do you explain the other side with John Kerry's wife, Terry Hines, giving to Hezbollah, the anti-Semites, anti-Christian terrorist organization? John Kerry, I don't care if he was Jewish or not, or his brother. The wife is a nightmare.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Where are you getting this? Just tell me. Hey. Where? Cite a source.
He is
Tell me.
Hezbollah anti-Semitic. Hey!
Bitch!
Kerry,
Where? Name the source.
John Kerry's a fake, phony fraud.
Are you just crazy?
He was a great.
Please up the dosage, honey. Take the pill. Honey, take the pill. Oh, wow. What a witch. What a witch. So I saved this, and I said to myself, one day, I will have something equally as fabulous, and there it is. The Washington Post, my favorite newspaper. The voice of America. That was Al. I'm the left stuff. Why don't you just write leftover? What else is unbelievably fabulous to me, just as a kid that grew up here, but in Brooklyn and Queens, is the billboard in Times Square. See, he likes it too. Okay, now all I got to do is get Kerry into the White House and buy a dress for the inaugural.
I'd like to read a poem called Vote by Mark Maron. If you want to rewrite what's been wrote, vote. If you want to squeeze the bastard's throat, vote. If Bush makes you gloat, vote. If you can't find the remote, vote. If you're in a German U-boat, vote. If Wednesday you want to gloat, vote. Good luck, people. We're going to do it. Get out and vote. See you later, Riley. See you tomorrow.
You want at the top of the show?
Randy, Sam, Janine, Al, and Chuck already.
Okay, we need now. We need now.
Now?
We're going on the air to do this information now, and if I've got one Senate race, that's not enough.
Start talking. Before you hang up, start talking. Tim's going to see if he can hear you.
Why can't I
What
hear?
happened?
The headphones are cranked all the way up.
Okay, he's going in now. Start talking right now.
Huh, I have it in there.
Huh, I don't.
Don't talk to me that way, please.
Well, I'm telling you, I have no idea.
I have to address the problem, Randy. I can't just pull it out of my ass.
Welcome to our special election night coverage here on Air America Radio. I'm Rachel Maddow.
I'm Catherine Lanford.
The rest of the Air America Radio cast is around the country.
From Palm Beach County. Let's go down and check in with our own Randy Rhodes.
Do you realize that when Kerry wins tonight, and he will, that starting January 20th, we get to change the world? Do you understand that's the power we will then have?
Can we get a round of applause here in the studio? Al based at Boston tonight.
I've been talking to some surrogates for Kerry, and they seem pretty confident. May come down, however, again to Ohio and Florida. So that's that.
We're going to continue our travel around the country by coming back here to New York City. Sam Cedar and Janine Garofalo are in New York.
Right now it says electoral votes 270 needed, as everyone knows. It says Bush 193, Kerry 112. That's shocking. I know John Kerry will win, but having to sit through this is like having to sit through, I don't know, a metaphor for something that is hard to sit through.
And this just in from AP, President Bush leading John Kerry in the race for the presidency. By 51% to 48% in the popular vote.
Am I like in a Democratic bubble or something?
What's the matter?
The whole country is red.
No, that's okay. The whole country's always going to be red. No one lives there.
It still makes me nervous.
No one lives there, Kate, because there's no food and there's no water. The people moved where the food and water was.
I'm Catherine Lanford.
I'm Rachel Maddow. We'll be right back after the news. This is Air America Radio.
I think Florida's over.
Have you seen new numbers?
Well, I just think, you got a margin right now of what, 51-47? You got...
Well, it's like 300,000 votes, but
no, that's 96% of the votes.
I'm just going to report from looking at the monitors that we have here in the studio that ABC is now projecting Florida for Bush.
Kerry could win without Florida.
Yes, absolutely. He cannot win without Ohio.
He's got Pennsylvania. Praise Jesus.
Yes. No, but if he loses Ohio, it's
What are we at?
over.
So it's Ohio.
It's Ohio, baby.
Al, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. It's pretty silent here. They're singing God Bless America in the back, but
Well, it looks like that there's no reason to say no at this point, but that we do know that it may not happen tonight.
It's not good. Ohio is a big problem.